Well, here's a few news articles. This one is pretty hilarious. These people laundered $4.5 billion in cryptocurrency, and they appear to be complete idiots. So this thing is horrible. The sound is horrible. And anyway, that's the woman, pair of the couple, says they aren't hackers. They just laundered the money, and they just put it in like a Coinbase account. And they therefore the cops were able to get more than half of it back. Yes, so if you think dancing is bad, you should hear the singing. Anyway, however, after everybody started mocking him over the last couple of days, all their YouTube videos went private, and their OpenSea accounts have vanished. So that would suggest maybe they're not in prison now, or they have a friend outside prison. It would suggest that they are hiding some of their money, because they only got half of that money back so far. But people are mocking them for many things, among other things, putting that kind of money in a cloud wallet instead of using a cold wallet. Yeah, and if you want more of the news, I do have a podcast we do twice a week. That's probably where you can get the long version of this, essentially. Anyway, so someone else pointed out that, maybe it's going to start slowing down on me now. Someone else pointed out that supposedly someone turned them in to get this $400 million reward, which was announced when this all happened about a year and a half ago. So perhaps somebody got that $400 million. All right. So there's now a COVID sick leave policy for California. As you may know, workers in America are not guaranteed any significant amount of sick leave, which is one of the many ways we are far behind all the other wealthy nations in the world. But California is guaranteeing workers sick leave if they work at a company with 25 or more employees, which of course means a lot of employees at small businesses are left out. But at least you get 80 hours of COVID-related paid sick leave, which I guess is 2 weeks, which is a lot better than you get in the rest of America. So this one is kind of hard to believe. The public radio station in Seattle broadcast a signal, and apparently radio signals now include images, which kind of explains something I've noticed when I rent a modern car. They play they have like album pictures in front of the songs they play. And so it moved image files with no extensions, and that crashes the Mazda entertainment system, and it crashes it so bad that you have to replace the module for $1,500. And those, you can't even get them even if you pay $1,500. So that's pretty awesome. That's a pretty incredible crash. But they claim you have to replace hardware after it's exposed to that radio station. So we'll see what comes of that. You have a Mazda. If you do, if you have a Mazda from those years, you might want to avoid listening to radio stations with it. I don't know. That's an issue. All right, and this one is kind of unbelievable. So they hired a security guard, and the first day on the job, the security guard saw this painting. And this is a famous painting from a Russian artist about 100 years ago, and he just took a pen and drew eyes on it. And they can't remove them, and they're freaking out. They say it has ruined this extremely valuable artwork and so on. So that's an issue. Kind of reminds me, if you want a CISSP or a CI, at least for CISSP, you can quote experience as a security guard as part of the 5 years of experience. But hopefully you do a better job than that. Skirmions. No, I don't think I know skirmions. Oh, so I see. Someone has, Jordan drew on somebody else's art project. Yeah, I bet that has a similar reaction. Somebody is telling me about skirmions. Oh, I think I heard of these things. Let's take a look at this one. Magnetic anomalies to generate random numbers. Oh, I see. Well, I didn't know about this. That's interesting. Another way to make random numbers. Good, I know there's a few ways to do it. One way is to amplify Johnson noise, but these spin particles may be better in some ways. That's a good thing to know. Let me just save that one. Oh, that's not right. It's this one. There we go. Good. And the BA2 subvariant of Omicron is coming. It's up to like 3% in San Francisco, but you can see in South Africa, which was about 2 or 3 weeks ahead of us, on the Omicron variant, the BA2 has now completely replaced Omicron. So that's why a lot of people are pretty upset that San Francisco and many others, New York and many other places are releasing their mask requirements and pretending that COVID is over when they say it's really not over at all. In fact, there's another surge coming, and it is illogical to remove the masks now, but everybody's doing it. We did this before, too, remove the masks and then just have another surge. So I imagine we'll be opening all the businesses and then in a week or two just closing them again. So a study came out showing that the effective diet is really much larger than I think a lot of people expected, even at an advanced age, like over 60. Changing your diet can add a lot of years to your life, and it's just the usual stuff. You have to not eat red meat, in fact, not much meat at all. Get rid of meat and dairy. You all safe enough anybody will tell you the Mediterranean diet or the many variations on it are the right things to do. So anyway, be no surprise, Socrates figured it out 2,500 years ago. But anyway, there's scientific evidence behind it now. And the EFF is warning about the EARN-IT Act. The EARN-IT Act is the latest plan of the government to spy on what's on your phone. They've been trying this for at least 20 years. And remember that recently there was this controversy where Apple wanted to run some kind of program on your phone to see if you had child pornography images on your phone. And then it would inform a server somewhere if it found them, looking at hash values or something. And the EFF and everybody else complained and said they shouldn't be snooping on your phone. And this is the latest version of the same thing. The Congress wants to force Apple's hand, so what they're going to do, they tried many times to pass a law banning encryption and forcing everybody to have a key to open all the encryption. And that led to a lot of backlash. So what they're doing now is more secret, more covert. What they're doing is claiming you have to find the child sexual abuse material and report it. And it doesn't discuss encryption, but of course they can't actually use any strong encryption or they wouldn't be able to detect that stuff. So we'll see what happens. This is the way the battle has always been. You think of the children, and that's the reason why they are able to punch through the encryption, and we'll see what comes of it. The current situation is, of course, that the NSA can punch through everything, and they go so far as poisoning cryptographic standards to make sure we're using broken cryptography so they can punch through it. But law enforcement, like the FBI, does not have access to that data, except by using very strange dodges like parallel reconstruction. The NSA can find data and then give it to the FBI. They can't admit it came from the NSA, so they make up a lie pretending they got it from an insider, and they tell the jury that. And this is apparently acceptable in court. So if Apple's hurting Facebook, which they are apparently, what should Facebook do now? Well, I've heard a lot of discussion of this. Facebook is going down fast. Everybody's hated on Facebook for a long time. Well, Facebook has been a fantastically unethical company right from the very beginning. I do not know what they should do now. Facebook seems, I tell you, it doesn't matter what Facebook should do, because Facebook has a dual level stock structure, which means that you can buy stock in Facebook and then you get some of their profits, but you don't get any votes. Mark Zuckerberg can never be outvoted. He has the votes, no matter how much stock he sells. So that means he is just a king. He can never be fired, he can never be pushed out, and everybody has to do what he says forever. So, like Donald Trump, he's the king, and so it doesn't much matter what Facebook should do. It's totally Mark Zuckerberg alone deciding what he's going to do, and what he's doing is jumping with both feet into this metaverse, which everybody says is a disaster, and they're losing an incredible amount of money building this junk that nobody wants. So it may be severely damaged. Facebook is going down. It looks like there's nothing going to save it in time. I would predict that Facebook is going to go down quite a bit until they'll have to be acquired or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's fascinating to watch. Yeah, Apple hurt them. Yeah, but Facebook has done so many rotten things. They have a really bad reputation. All right. Well, that's enough of the news.